Hi guys, it's Adu. I'm back again. Why am I talking like sorry. Hi guys, I'm back again with another video. This video is a reacting to It's reacting to unpopular
You need to be cutting grass, making this place fresh
another reaction to some Reddit posts.
I need to take it easy, otherwise I'm gonna lose it.
Hi guys, I'm back again with another video, and this video is going to be a reaction, another reaction to a Reddit thread. Yeah, because what? Reddit? Reddit is juicy. That's what I gotta say. Reddit is juicy. But yeah, what specifically is juicy that I love to, react to are unpopular opinions on romance books. So let's head right into it because I've done enough like talking. Yeah. Anyway, so like I already said, this particular thread is called Unpopular Romance Opinions You Get Incinerated For. Making the female main character's long-term boyfriend suddenly turn out to be a shitty cheater is an overused trope to allow the FMC to move on quickly. Bro, this is like one of my pet peeves. Like, it kind of goes into the disposable boyfriend or disposable girlfriend trope, just to have the main character move on quickly. They will give them some rubbish like partner. You can just give them a push in the direction of the main character, of the other main character that they are destined to be with. It's like, it's not by force that the main character's dissatisfaction with their relationship is always going to be down to the partner. Sometimes it's something about them. Sometimes the main character is not a good person. So like right now, I'm actually reading a book where it's not the best, don't get me wrong, because I've kind of outgrew reading books from like a high school perspective. I feel like a perv. Yeah, but I like the twist, on the shitty boyfriend, that she has no choice but to break up with and then move on to the guy that she is supposed to get with, in the book. No, in fact, they made her the shitty cheater. Why would the author create the female character this way? Are we not supposed to be rooting for her? But at the end of the day, people are people. We're not always going to be rooting for people. They're not always going to make good decisions. And especially high schoolers or secondary schoolers or whatever, they're not always put together. And so I appreciate the twist. I feel like it's a lot more layered. So yeah, I agree with this person. I especially agree with this one. It's definitely overused. Okay, I'm a little scared. Lol, but here goes. Okay, she's scared. I hope she's gonna eat. As lovers of the genre, we need to have higher standards, period. Yes, she's not lying. Because of the growing popularity of romance, there has been an influx of writers who can barely string a sentence together but subject us to garbage books because they know the trope they shoehorned into the story will make the TikTok girlies eat up, which most of them do. No lies told. A lot of authors in this genre, both traditionally published and indie, straight up cannot write. The grammar is terrible, the plot line is a mess, the characters' personalities are basically just a poorly constructed attachment style quiz, and a lot of us just accept it because anything less than is gatekeeping, and people get really defensive. I think romance readers deserve better. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. I enjoyed that TED Talk. But yeah, so I definitely agree with everything that she put down here, that this person put down there. I feel like these people who create such horrible content, such horrible romance novels and stuff, they are the reason why I feel quite afraid of sharing that my favorite genre is romance. I said it. Because it's like, you know, because I feel like it's kind of hard to find exceptional good storylines, you know, that sometimes I do find that I settle for poor, you know, grammatical errors and stuff like that, like, you know, stuff here and there like that just you shouldn't accept if you're paying money for, you know, you shouldn't. Yeah, so I definitely agree with this, and I think romance readers definitely do deserve better. I so agree. Someone said, and it's hard to talk about this at all without seeming pretentious or being accused of being a snob, lol. Multiple times I've tried to pick up a book that blew up on TikTok and could not even read a few pages because the writing was just so bad. And I know that gets the response of, just because you didn't like it doesn't mean it's bad. Conversely, I'd argue that just because someone likes something doesn't mean it's good. She ate with that. Yeah, just because someone likes something doesn't mean it's good. And I just feel like people need to remember that. But at the same time, I feel like we just gotta be honest. You know, guilty pleasures, that word exists for a reason. Even if you like something, that doesn't mean it's pure art. Bro, I like Twilight. I'm not gonna lie and say Twilight is pure cinema. I just feel like some things can just be bad, but people can still like them. And I mean bad, like objectively bad. I don't know if this is unpopular, but erotica is not romance. Of course the two are not mutually exclusive, but we can agree that if the MCs are boinking more than they are talking, it's fair to call it erotica. I asked for romance rec based on X trope or theme. I want romance. If you recommend me erotica, I'm going to be annoyed. They are absolutely not the same thing at all. I don't mind smart, but if the entire story is just plot contrived to get two characters that is erotica, I agree. I'd rather see some realism in the scenes. Completely realistic is not necessary. That doesn't really do it for me. Try this instead, or what do you like, or go a little slower, or is it okay if I know the fantasy is that the person just magically knows and doesn't have to be told, but I would feel more connected with some communication between the characters. Honestly, you know, I'm gonna be real with you. I was on Wattpad when I shouldn't have been. So yeah, as a kid, I generally would read some of these like interactions, right? And I would feel like this was how it was going to be. And then obviously as I grew up, I realized that, you know, it doesn't really make sense. You know, and sometimes these characters are strangers to each other. They don't know each other quite yet. And you're telling me that a man already knows how to, you know, make you explode. He knows the right buttons, please. You know, in that regard, realism definitely matters. I definitely feel like, you know, it just matters in the communication between, you know, these characters, like, and that tends to be lost in romance. You know, I like how this person said, I know the fantasies that the person just magically knows, right? The word fantasy, that is another genre. The whole intermingling of the two genres of erotica and romance, I feel like romance has also been highly influenced by the genre fantasy. This is a picky offshoot of your comment, which I completely agree with. It drives me crazy when the MCs just roll over and go to sleep after that, or go about their day. I know it's not romantic to include the aftercare but it's still a part of it. I read one book where the MMC had the FMC go to the bathroom afterwards, and it was handled in a way that fit with the characters and wasn't jarring. No one ever talked to me about, so most of my information came from romance books and movies. I should definitely be an anomaly, but I know I'm not. Realistic portrayals of intimacy and as well as as well as aftercare cleanup would be great. I agree with this. Because, you know, yeah, people not, I don't understand why people don't even find like the aftercare, that raw kind of awkward moments in between and even after, why they don't find it endearing. It's endearing. It's really endearing to me. And it's like, it's also educating people, because most of the time it's young girls who have never, you know, experienced that, who are reading it, you know. They tend to be the target demographic, and it's just nice for an author to be aware of that and to actually act off of that acknowledgement, you know, and try and, you know, put in moments where it's also education. So yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree with this. I can't stand a miscommunication third act breakup that could have easily been solved with one single conversation. But give me a bittersweet moment where they want to stay together but no, they can't for one reason or another, and I am there. As long as there's a happy ending. I don't like this thing about as long as there's a happy ever after. I don't really care for happy ever afters. Is that just me? Like, romance does not necessarily mean that they should always end up together, you know. I'm not saying that I don't want them to get together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that whenever I see a HEA tag, I just, in my mind, it makes me feel like this is just gonna be corny. In general, I'm really sick of MMCs who are having sex. Sorry, I'm really tired. I'm really sick of MMCs who left and right before they fall in love with the FMC. I'm ready to read a book about an ugly loser with no game and no drama. I would love that too. I don't think I've ever read a book like that, so it will be very refreshing, you know. I also just don't really like the normalization or whatever. Like, they normalize these books. They tend to normalize just going about and just giving your body willy-nilly to anybody. I don't think that is good education. It's not even like it's education. I just don't feel like it's necessary, you know. It's not necessary for a good romance read, and it's just, you're kind of teaching people to just be careless with their bodies. But guys, I think that is it for this video. It was a fun one, you know. Yeah, it's always nice reacting to, you know, my fellow book readers online. Yeah, especially on Reddit. Reddit is just, I don't know, I like Reddit. I've made previous videos with me reacting on Reddit to Reddit posts, so I definitely recommend those, and also check out my other book related drops. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys when I'm feeling much better, to be honest. Now I won't say that. I look forward to seeing you guys later. But yeah, have a great summer, guys. At least I hope you're having a great summer. Yeah, peace.